People often hear that the Supreme Court took a case or made a ruling, but the actual process behind those decisions is rarely explained clearly. This video explains, in plain language, how the Supreme Court decides a case from start to finish, based only on documented procedures and established rules. The Supreme Court exists to interpret federal law and the Constitution, resolve legal conflicts between lower courts, and provide final answers on issues that affect the entire country. It is designed to be the last step in the judicial system, not the first, and it reviews only a small number of cases each year. Several key terms help make the process easier to understand. A petition is a formal request asking the court to hear a case. A certiorari decision, often shortened to cert, is the court's choice to accept or decline the request. Briefs are written arguments submitted by the parties. Oral arguments are short, structured presentations made directly to the justices, and an opinion is a written explanation of the court's final decision. The process begins when a party files a petition asking the Supreme Court to review a lower court ruling. Thousands of petitions arrive each year. The justices and their clerks review these petitions to determine which cases raise significant legal questions. The court accepts only a small percentage of them. The next step is a certiorari vote. At least 4 of the 9 justices must agree to hear the case. This is known as the rule of 4. If fewer than 4 agree, the case is not taken and the lower court ruling remains in place. Once the court agrees to hear a case, both sides submit written briefs. These documents explain the legal arguments, cite past decisions, and outline the facts relevant to the dispute. Outside groups may also submit amicus briefs, which provide additional perspectives or technical information. After the briefs are submitted, the court schedules oral arguments. Each side typically receives a limited amount of time, often around 30 minutes, to present its position. The justices may ask questions at any point. These questions help clarify arguments and test how each side interprets the law. Following oral arguments, the justices meet in a private conference. Only the justices are present. They discuss the case, state their positions, and take an initial vote. The most senior justice in the majority assigns who will write the court's opinion. If the Chief Justice is in the majority, the assignment is made by the Chief Justice. The assigned justice then drafts the majority opinion. Other justices may write concurring opinions if they agree with the outcome, but for different reasons. Justices who disagree with the majority may write dissenting opinions. Drafts are circulated, revised, and sometimes rewritten until the final versions are complete. Once the opinions are finalized, the court publicly announces its decision. The written opinions explain the legal reasoning and establish how the ruling applies to future cases. This completes the decision-making process. This process does not determine guilt or innocence in criminal cases, does not retry facts, and does not resolve political disputes. The court focuses only on legal questions and constitutional interpretation. It does not enforce its decisions. Enforcement is carried out by the executive branch. It also does not choose cases based on public opinion or policy goals, and it does not issue advisory opinions on hypothetical situations. Supreme Court decisions can influence how laws are applied, how government agencies operate, and how lower courts interpret similar issues. They can affect individuals, businesses, and state governments by clarifying rights, responsibilities, and limits under federal law. Because the court's rulings are final within the judicial system, they shape legal standards across the country. After a decision is issued, lower courts apply the ruling to similar cases. Legislatures may revise laws in response. Agencies may update regulations. In some situations, new cases may arise that test the boundaries of the ruling, but the original decision remains in effect unless the court revisits the issue in the future. This explanation covered how the Supreme Court accepts a case, reviews arguments, deliberates, and issues a final decision. Using only documented procedures and established rules, Neutral News Network provides process-based explanations like this to help viewers understand how major systems function.